Can you tell how many people have been shot?
I think 2 children.
Okay. All right. What was
that
your
I've
name,
seen.
sir?
There's a girl running down the street saying that her stepfather is killing everyone in her family.
And what did the female say to you?
And she says that her stepfather is killing everybody in her house.
In Clermont County, Ohio, about 75 miles west of Columbus, rests a quiet community called Monroe Township. The Doermans, residing in the 1900 block of Laurel-Lindale Road, were the epitome of a typical American family. Laura, the nurturing stay-at-home mom, was the heart of the home while Chad worked to provide for their 4 children, including their daughter Alexis. Friends and relatives spoke of a tight-knit family, particularly highlighting the inseparable bond among the 3 brothers, Clayton, Hunter, and Chase, always seen playing and cheering each other on. The boys even had a shared love for baseball, forming a little pack of their own. No one fathomed that Doerman harbored a darkness behind the veneer of a serene family life. Disturbing ruminations had taken root in the recesses of his mind. This malevolent fixation had silently grown in the months prior, leading up to a horrifying climax. One fateful day, the evening of June 15, 2023, Doerman, returning home early from work, beckoned his wife and young sons into the master bedroom for a family nap. Laura and the boys gathered excitedly. Meanwhile, the boys' sister, Alexis, engrossed herself in the comforting glow of the television in the family room. After lying down with his wife and 3 sons, court documents report, Doerman got back out of bed. Beside the bed was an innocuous gun safe. The content patiently awaited its singular purpose. The gun safe creaked as it opened, releasing the instrument of destruction, a Marlin Model HC-22 rifle. Doerman, a puppet of his own malevolence, seized the rifle. He inserted a loaded magazine into the rifle. In a horrific dance with fate, he opened fire on his unsuspecting family and shot one of his sons twice. 4-year-old Hunter was shot twice, instantly killed by his father. Laura, the mother of his children, Doerman's wife, immediately began to render aid to her son as she yelled for her 2 sons to run. By this time, 14-year-old Alexis had made her way to the master bedroom in time to witness the first shots fired. She followed behind her brother, 7-year-old Clayton, as he fled, screaming for him to keep running. Doerman allegedly hunted him down and continued firing until a bullet pierced the back of the child's head and he dropped to the ground. Doerman walked up to his son, laying in a field outside of his house, and shot his son again at close range. Bravely, Alexis ran back to the house where she picked up 3-year-old Chase and fled with him in her arms. As she neared the road, Doerman caught up with her, raised the rifle, and demanded she put her brother down. When she didn't comply, Doerman attempted to fire the rifle. It did not go off. The gun, seemingly out of ammunition. Doerman, in a single-minded pursuit, left to retrieve more ammunition. While in the house, he picked up Hunter's dead body and laid him down on the lawn. Laura, outside of the home and in the yard, was attempting to provide aid to her son Clayton, who had been shot outside. Chase began running towards his mother. Alexis began running toward the Monroe Township Fire Department nearby. En route, a passerby stopped her. She alerted him that her father was killing everyone as she fled.
911, where's your emergency?
There's a girl running down the street saying that her stepfather is killing everyone in her family. It's on the corner of where there's a body shop in the fire department. Do you know what road this is?
Okay, what's your name?
Get into the fire department.
What's your name?
Do you know what road this is? Laura Lindell Road.
Said what?
It's Laura Lindell Road.
Okay, and what did the female say to you?
And she says that her stepfather is killing everybody in her house. I did. I'm on the phone with them right now.
Did you say how or what was happening?
I asked her to get in the car with me, and she said she couldn't leave her family. But I think she ran to the fire department.
So she went to the fire station. What did she look like?
She's probably a young teenager, probably like 16 maybe, with long blonde hair. And she has a black dog.
Did she say anything about a baby?
I don't know about no baby. She said she just couldn't leave her family. but I see a car running around. I'm sorry?
Do you see anything from the house?
So I drove down the road a little bit, so I was afraid that I was going to get shot myself since I interacted with her face to face. So I'm just about maybe 3 houses down. But she's waiting at the corner. I don't know what she's doing, but I kind of still see her in the corner. But I saw a car kind of came around and whipped around, so I'm not exactly sure if that's him or if he's chasing her or not. I'm sorry?
What kind of vehicle was it?
I saw it. It was like a gray. Did you see that car whip around? It's one of the fire department guys.
Okay.
I think maybe a fire department guy. It was a regular kind of focus-looking gray car.
Okay, we have help on the way. Thank you so
Dark
much.
gray.
If you
Okay, all right.
Call us back, okay, and steer clear of the area at this time.
Okay. This said stay clear from the area.
Yeah, which
But I think that's the house right there.
Oh, are you inside where you're safe?
I'm standing outside where I can see the lady.
Okay.
I'm across the street at Lindale Automotive.
Can you tell how many people have been shot?
I think 2 children
Okay. All right. I need. What was
that
your
I've
name,
seen.
sir?
My name is.
What's your last name? All right. We've got help on the way. If you could just try to stay inside so that you're safe.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Back at the house, wife Laura and her son were approached by Doerman. Laura had picked up Chase, her only remaining son, in her arms. Doerman allegedly bit her as he tried to wrestle her son out of her arms. Laura, in a final attempt to save her son, grabbed the rifle. Doerman fired it, shooting her through the thumb. In the chaos, she dropped her child. Doerman immediately shot him once in the head. He then picked up his son and laid him down next to his brothers. After the defendant executed all 3 boys, he sat on the side stoop of the residence and watched the boy's mother attempt life-saving measures on her children. Alexis, Doerman's stepdaughter, was the only child to survive the horrifying events. Deputies responded to the home in Monroe Township shortly before 4:30 p.m. As deputies rushed to the scene, body camera footage captured the grim reality.
We gotta find cover first. We ain't no good if we ain't safe ourselves. Hey, no. We need to come from this side where we can see them. Come take cover behind her. We see them. We're going to approach from this side. We got cover. Right here.
6 Robert, 29 and 63 attack that.
Chad Doerman, seated on his stoop with a rifle by his side, became the face of unimaginable horror.
Show us your fucking hands now! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up now! Stand up! Stand the fuck up!
EMS is staged and air clear. Try to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands up. Cover 21.
Outside, the deputies found the lifeless bodies of 3 innocent boys ages 3, 4, and 7, each with gunshot wounds that defied comprehension.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm completely sober. 63, we're 21. Get the EMS over here. Well, I did drugs real quick, but I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you. 63.
Get your butt inside. Gallant, get your butt inside.
We on primary?
Now.
29, we got 3 kids down.
3 kids down, 63 down.
Gallant.
63, we're 21. Have EMS respond over here.
You're clear, they're being advised.
Robert 34, just started mass cast, do respond.
63, do you want them to respond to the Laurel Lindale address? Where exactly do you need them?
We're right in the front yard.
You took my life from me! My life!
What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad, I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
All right.
He won't bite you.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna
I
get
ain't
you
gonna
here
do
in a
nothing. I ain't
second.
running away. You can do whatever you want.
Here. You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house?
Yeah.
Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
Officers and emergency medical service personnel promptly attempted life-saving measures. Sadly, the children died at the scene. Chad Doerman, 32 years old, was quickly taken into custody, facing violent and brutal criminal charges. The victims, his own flesh and blood, his 7-year-old son Clayton, his 4-year-old son Hunter, and his 3-year-old son Chase. Doerman uttered admissions to law enforcement confessing, "I did it, take me to jail," and expressing remorse, "I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have shot and them." Additionally, the defendant, during an audio and video recorded interview, acknowledged in June he had been contemplating the act of shooting his son since October. Court documents would unveil a chilling truth. Investigators learned that in the days leading up to the tragic murders, Doerman, the accused, was tormented by sleepless nights, haunted by contemplating the unthinkable act of taking his son's lives. Yet, no motive has been released. In early June 2023, Doerman faced indictment on counts of aggravated murder, along with other charges including kidnapping and felonious assault on June 22nd.
We know that one of the boys was able to flee into a field near the home. And again, we know from his admission, father hunted that boy down, drug him back to the property, and executed him in front of witnesses.
The charges include 9 counts of aggravated murder, 8 counts of kidnapping, and 4 counts of felonious assault. Clermont County Prosecutor Mark Taculva expressed the profound horror elicited by the crime.
Expressing the deepest sympathy I have for his family, for this unspeakable tragedy. We do have, I can't go into a whole lot of facts, all right, because this is a death penalty case, and my goal is to have this man executed for slaughtering these 3 little boys. It is, let me try to figure out a way to put this. It is an incomprehensible act of horror that he perpetrated on his family. So again, that is my most important focus right now, is to ensure that they are protected and they are safe. And my hope and wish and prayer is that someday we will be able to find peace.
In response, the judge ordered Doerman's detention in the Clermont County Jail with a staggering $20 million cash bond. Despite admitting responsibility to law enforcement, Doerman pleaded not guilty in court on June 23, 2023. The once calm neighborhood of Monroe Township, now echoing with the aftermath of gunshots, left neighbors in shock. Chad's father, Keith Doerman, presented a conflicting image, describing his son as a good father who loved his children. In the days following the tragedy, Keith struggled to comprehend the events, stating that his son just snapped. He observed a hollowness in Chad's eyes during the arraignment, insisting that it wasn't the true essence of his son. Accounts from friends and neighbors painted a less favorable picture. Neighbor Richard Kincannon, who witnessed the aftermath, revealed a pattern of mistreatment.
There wasn't a day he didn't yell at his wife and kids out there.
What would he yell?
All kinds of shit. He was just angry. He knew what he was doing. He planned it. It was premeditated. He shouldn't have a bond. He should never see daylight again, ever in his life. And I think they should execute him the same way they did it. The same way he did his sons is the way he needs to go out.
Another neighbor, Alexis Spoonamore, described the harrowing moment of hearing the shots and the ensuing chaos.
Here, and all of a sudden I hear boom, boom, and it like 5 more. I'm like, that's 7 shots. That's shots. Like, there's no way. So I was freaking out like this before I got ready and everything. And I don't know, man. I just saw, before that, I saw 2 cars right here on this street zoom as fast as humanly possible. It was like something's going down. Like, we heard skids, and I was like, this is like too far for it to not be something. And I thought maybe it was fireworks, but it was a boom, like a loud boom.
Even those who considered themselves friends of Chad Doerman were cognizant of his volatility. Mark Holland, a self-described friend, revealed, "He had a bad temper, really bad. I think he was a bomb ready to explode." November 20th, 2023, Doerman returned to court for a pre-trial hearing where Judge Richard Ferentz heard arguments for 41 motions filed by the defense. Doerman has not been disruptive at the jail, a factor the judge will consider when deciding if he will have to continue to wear restraints to court. Defense attorneys asked that potential jurors be questioned individually on issues related to publicity and the death penalty, and that the jury pool consists of convicted felons who have served their sentences. The defense also requested that gruesome photographs of the deceased children be excluded from the trial, and are asking the court to prohibit prosecution witnesses from giving emotional testimony. The defense wants to make sure jurors don't reach a verdict based on sympathy. Judge Ferentz made no rulings on any of the motions during the hearing. Instead, Ferentz will be issuing written rulings to each of the motions, stating that the motions are important and due to rules of the courts he can amend or change his rulings as new information comes to light. Ferentz then added, "These motions will also give the prosecution and the defense a chance to understand his understanding, attitude, and interpretation of the law, which could save everyone time later." The trial date is scheduled to begin on July 8th and be concluded by August, but it is common for murder trials to be delayed. Currently, Chad Doerman lives out his days awaiting trial in a small cell at Claremont County Jail with a $20 million cash bond. A heartbreaking story. Our deepest condolences to the family and friends impacted by this senseless tragedy.